Okay, in this problem, the Nielsen Company reported that U.S. mobile phone subscribers average 3.7 hours per month watching videos on their phone. And what we want to do is find a 95% confidence interval to estimate the average number of hours per month that just U.S. college students spend watching videos on their mobile phone. Okay, so data just from 8 college students was collected, and here are the number of hours they watch videos on their mobile phone in a given month. Okay, so the population in this case is just careful. It's just all U.S. college students. That's the group we're studying. Okay, and the parameter of interest is going to be a population mean, which we denote by the Greek letter mu. And this is because we're asking a quantitative question, hours of videos watched per month. So this is the mean number of hours per month, I'll just do ... that all college students watch videos on their mobile phones. Since we're trying to estimate a population mean, the natural point estimate is a sample mean, which we denote by x bar. So that's just the average of our 8 data values. So you can use StatCrunch to find that value for you. Just put your data into a column and then click on Stat, Summary Statistics columns, and Minitab will supply the mean and also the standard deviation, as well as other things. Okay, the standard error in this case is just a sample standard deviation over the square root of the sample size. And again, StatCrunch gives you the sample standard deviation, and that is 3.8822 divided by the square root of 8. In the lesson notes, I show you how to do all of this. And this turns out to be 1.3726. Okay, so to get the margin of error for the confidence interval, it just involves 2 pieces. It involves using the t-table, which is used to tell us how many standard deviations we can move from the center to be 95% confident, times the standard error. So the t-table is one of the tables that I have listed for you in StatCrunch. So the degrees of freedom in this case, since there are 8 data values, is 7. It's a sample size minus 1. So if you go to row 7, and then think about that you want to do a 95% confidence interval. So you want the middle the area of the middle to be 95%, which tells you then that the upper tail has to be 2.5%, as does the lower tail. So if you go to the column labeled 0.025, go down to row 7, you get your t value, okay, which is 2.365. And then multiply it by the value you got up in part 4, your standard error. And if you work that out, you'll get 3.2462. Okay, so that's your margin of error, and like we've seen with other confidence intervals, that is what we'll say is our wiggle room. So we're going to add and subtract this number onto our point estimate, 6.75, to build the confidence interval. Okay, so let's do that. So by hand, we'll do it a couple of ways. By hand, we're going to take, again, x bar, and then we're going to add and subtract this margin of error. So that's 6.75 plus or minus 3.2462. So if you work that out, you get 3.504, comma, 9.996. So that's your 95% confidence interval to estimate the population mean mu. A quicker way to do this without the formulas is to use StatCrunch. So again, I've got screenshots in the lesson notes for you to look at how to do this. But in a nutshell, you'll go to StatCrunch, you'll click Stat, then T-Stats, then one sample, and then one data, because I gave you the raw data in the problem, not the summary statistics. Once you do that, you should get this Minitab output. And you can see that here's the x bar that we had above, the standard error that we have above, and then your confidence interval is right here. And except for rounding, that matches with what we got by hand. Okay, so the final thing to do is just to interpret this interval in context. So we want to just say something along the lines of, we're 95% confident that the average time, make sure the word average is in there, that the average time that all college students spend watching videos on their mobile phone is somewhere between 3.5 and about 10 hours per month.